Hey guys, Prepper Nurse One here. Today is let's see, Thursday, November 3rd. Um, I want to talk about a subject which I kind of think is one of the major problems that we have in this country. I mean, major problems we have. Uh, it's basically destroying this country, and it's being allowed to happen. Uh, the drug epidemic in this country. Now, there's two types of drugs that are happening in this country. And you have your legal drugs, of course, which is your pharmaceutical drugs, which is your painkillers and stuff like that, and how that's gotten completely out of control. And they're finally starting to crack down on that. But that's after years and years and years of them just handing out, Oxycontins and Vicodins and Percocets like they were candy. And, you get a whole group of people addicted to these things, and then all of a sudden, then they take them away. Ed, come over here to show everybody your haircut.
I look like I just joined the military.
It's good military haircut. Yeah, you have to buzz him down every once in a while. So I do his hair. So he wants all his facial hair cut off, and then it'll just all grow back, and so in a month he'll be shaggy again. So anyway, but you have your pharmaceutical drugs that, like I said, that the doctors like were giving out like candy, and it destroyed so many families. And then they decided to finally crack down on that, so a lot of people couldn't get their Oxy or their Vicodins or their Percocets anymore. So what did they turn to? A cheap alternative. They turned to heroin. So heroin is out of control in this country. And of course, then you have meth. Meth is also a wonderful drug of choice lately. And we see what that does to people. And I just don't get it. I mean, I'm going to tell you what. I partied back in the day and I had my fun. I'm not going to lie. But two things I never did. I never did heroin and I never did crack cocaine. Because I saw what it did to people. And I was like, no freaking way, man. Um, you know, I did meth one time. I will admit that. I did do meth once. And I was freaking so jacked up I didn't sleep for a day. And I was like, yeah, this isn't cool. I don't like this. So, I never did it again. But, it's just, different strokes for different folks. Obviously, people try different things. They want to do different things. Yeah, Bob.
When you smoke the ganja green, didn't you also used to get your cat high?
Yes, we when I was younger, um, I smoked pot, and I've told the kids the stories that my friends would come over, and I had one of my cats. The freaking cat loved to get high. He would come running into the room, and he'd sit up on the bed, and he would basically want to get high with everybody else. It was actually pretty funny. But now here's the thing, as far as marijuana goes, okay. I've said for years and years and years, there's two things that they needed to do in this country, and you may agree with me, you may not agree with me. Um, I said one was legalize marijuana, regulate it and tax it. The other was legalize prostitution, regulate it and tax it. Now, when I used to smoke pot back in the day, for me personally, it made me lazy. Didn't make me want to do anything else. Um, I just wanted to sit around and see how much higher I could get, and have something to eat and go to sleep. So, but I had to come to a point in my life where I had to decide what was more important, what did I want to accomplish, and I had to put that behind me. The worst thing I do now is I do Tylenol or Advil. Even when I had my surgery, they gave me Oxy with Tylenol, and I hardly used any of that at all because I don't like pills. I don't like pills. I've seen what they do to families. I see what it did to my family. So, and I'm not going to get into all of that part of it, but you know, it's like you have children that are being raised by their grandparents, or or by mom or by dad because the other parent is a drug addict or both parents are drug addicts. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame, and or they're being raised by the state. With the foster care system. So it's sad. It's pathetic. And it's being allowed to happen because drugs are a control tool mechanism, if you will. And if you're high and you're drunk and you're on whatever, you don't care about what's actually happening. And I think a lot of people are waking up to what's happening, obviously. But we've lost a whole generation of people. We have lost a whole generation of kids that, like I said, they're either being raised by the state, they're being raised by their grandparents, or they're being raised in, like I said, foster care, or you got one parent that's squared away, and you got either dad or you got mom playing mom and dad. So it's very difficult. It's a sad situation, and like I said, it's an epidemic that's just absolutely destroying this country. I know that in the area that I live in, that I mean, I'm sure marijuana is always big. Marijuana is always big, but you know, heroin is big and meth is big up here. I don't know so much about crack up in this area, but you know,
So crack is more of a California thing anyway.
well, no, crack is more of an inner city thing,
Mm.
unfortunately. But you know, it's being allowed to be brought here, and so we have our prisons are full of people. Here's one of the problems that I have. Okay, with this country, you have somebody that, let's say they were a pot dealer. Okay, and they get caught with significant weight. And when I say significant weight, let's say 5 pounds of marijuana. That guy's going to go do 20 years in prison. But if you're a freaking pedophile, which I know one that directly that did something to somebody, uh, that guy only got 7 to 10 years, and which means if he got 7 to 10 years, most likely he will be back out on the street in less than 5, which is disgusting in my opinion. But you're gonna have the pothead that had the dope, and he's gonna go to prison for a freaking a long time, and he ain't hurting nobody, in my opinion. So anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this subject. I mean, it's a subject that we can go on and on and on about, but I think like I said, drugs are destroying this country. Um, you know, here's an interesting thought, and I'll throw this out here, finishing on this subject. We went over to Afghanistan, and one of the main reasons that we did is because the Taliban had cracked down on the growing of the poppies over there, which is the main source of for heroin, and we didn't like that. Our government didn't like that, so we went over there and took control of everything because we want them to be able to grow the heroin or the poppies so that we can have the heroin in this country. The government allows these things to happen, people. Don't kid yourself. They really, truly do. So, anyway, and as far as that, do your research. You'll find out. It's very interesting. Um, but let me know what your thoughts are. And it's a very cloudy, overcast day. We had rain all this morning. We got more rain coming. But I wanted to talk about the subject because I find it fascinating, you know, how these things happen. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, so let me know what your thoughts are. And remember, hug and kiss the ones you love because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And, remember, guys, it's one step at a time, it's one thing at a time, and it's one day at a time. And you're going to reach whatever goals you're trying to reach. And that's what we're striving for here. Just trying to be happy people, take care of my family. That's the most important thing to me. And we're going to reach our goals. And we're getting towards winter. Let me show you the trees. Definitely the trees are starting to be more bare. So, anyway, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Be safe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay? Prep and Nurse one out for now.